Hey y'all, I wanted to do a quick tour slash first update of the garden for the year. I just watered and we're in triple digit temps for the next probably 2 weeks, and we've been there for a few days now anyway. So I'm not sure how much longer this garden is going to look like this. It's not looking the greatest right now, but it's presentable. So let me turn the camera around. All right, so up here in the front, I always start in the front. I have all these containers that I've been having here for I think 2 years now, and I have not used them this year though. I did have the stuff that I had from last year. Some of it came back, like the lemon balm and the oregano did for a while, but I wasn't taking care of it, so they got roasted in the sun. Although the lemon balm is struggling to stay alive, I do have more lemon balm, so I'm not worried about that. I plan to clean these out, top them off with soil, and then mulch them and let them sit for about 2 months until the fall. I'll probably also get rid of this because I'd rather have something I can move if I want to, because I may move these back near the shed. And so I'll take this soil out here to top those off. Now, they did have sunflowers in them for a while. I mean, a lot of sunflowers. I cut them out. Also over here, I had sunflowers because they all got roasted in the sun, especially since I'm not watering them. Although I do plan to plant some more sunflowers, and I had planned to do that, but it is so hot, I'll have to do it indoors, and I wanted to do it in my greenhouse. All right, so this bed I had planned to put potatoes in the winter, early spring. I never got around to it. I did clear out the weeds and dump some soil from extra smaller containers in there, but I never really got around to it. It was filled with these sunflowers that were just huge, and they started leaning this way, and that's why I cut them out, as well as, they were dying. Here is my fig that I got last year. Now, I initially thought I thought it was dead, because last year I just had these two little twigs, and these were obviously dead after, our winter. But then this started coming up, and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and there are fruit on here. So I'm looking forward to that. I don't know what kind of fig it is, but we shall see. And I've never had a fig before, so it'll just be an interesting experiment. I do hope I like them. I mean, or somebody likes them. Anyway, I do have my shade cloths up because it's hot. We're in triple digits, but I've had them up for a while. I think way back when I saw Lady Cheryl put hers up, I ran out and finally put mine up. I have been thinking about doing it, but anyway, she spurred me into action. I also did get this kind of arranged more like I wanted it, because I got these two long beds, the two 12 by 2 beds. I think I got them last year. It may have been a year before that. I don't remember. But I finally got them down, and I moved the 6 by 1.5 foot here, and it doesn't have anything in it yet. That's why this is waiting too, because I'm not ready. So the fall is going to be my season. That's what I'm saying. Especially since I didn't really do anything in the spring. I have that opossum here. She done had like 3, maybe 4 sets of babies. She ain't in my yard no more. They do come. I see opossums in my yard every single night, and I think there are like 3, maybe 5, 6 of them. I don't know. They come at different times of the night, and I think she still comes, Mo, but she ain't got her babies here, I don't think, so that's good. Anyway, like I said, I have my shade cloth up, so that definitely helps. I also have a thick layer of mulch in the bottom here, and so that helps it so that I only have to water every other day. I was actually watering every 3 days until it got this hot. Now that it's this hot, I'm gonna try to do every other day, because I don't want to have done all of this and lose everything. Although I'm pretty sure I will lose some of these things, and that's why I want to go ahead and do this tour. Anyway, so on this side, I have pepper plants that I grew from seed. On that side, I have some pepper plants that I got from the store, as well as some watermelon. The tomatoes over here were from seed. And anyway, so let me go ahead and go in closer, or let me start over here. So in this corner, I have this is a 3x3 bed, and it has a bunch of stuff in there. I have a shade cloth for that too. It's definitely overplanted. Yeah, I tried to do an overhead shot, but I can't see what's being shown. I do also have a volunteer tomato that came back. I had pulled it out and put a piece of it over in the back over there that's still alive, but then it came back. And now that it has flowers, I'm kind of reluctant to pull it out too soon. So I'm gonna give it some time because I'm not getting my yard mowed yet. It needs to be mowed, but it's not as hot. So I usually only ask the guy, my lawn guy, to mow when I see him at one of my neighbor's house. Like, hey, if you have time and you can fit me in, you can fit me in. If not, whenever you have time, it's fine. Anyway, this round bed, I also want to do potatoes. Either this bed, or I may use that smaller bed because I have some grow bags, and I definitely prefer to grow in grow bags now, or with something without a bottom, because I have the morning glory that I'm still having coming through, and I'll show you some areas with that later. Although we're at 6.5 minutes, let me hurry up. All right, I have the shed here still. I haven't tried to put the doors on again. Well, no, not since the last time we tried. I haven't. Oh no, I think I did I tried to update a video, but I do have shade cloth. I have shade cloth in lots of areas. But anyway, I think I did a update, or a few updated videos, but my mic wasn't working and I didn't want to edit the video. So hopefully, I'm not using the mic now. So as long as the audio is fine, it's good. And as long as I could do this without needing too much editing, I should upload this. Anyway, I will do the shed eventually because I'm looking forward to having a space where I can at least hide some of this stuff that I have out here, like that. Although, I mean, some of this stuff I'm gonna just get rid of. Anyway, I want potatoes here. I had put my brassicas here from the T-Nox challenge. I had some brassicas that I finally got moved out. It took me a minute to get them out. I had like anyway, I was having a bunch of stuff going on. I got sick. Yeah, I think I did post a video early, so maybe this isn't my first update of the year. I don't remember. But anyway, long story short, I didn't anyway, I moved the brassicas out. I wasn't sure if they were going to make it, so I wound up over planning because they all did make it. But they were kind of stunted, as you can see with the kale. But I left the kale because it can survive the summer, and I thought maybe it would start to eventually thrive. It hasn't. I mean, it's roasting out here. It is hot, but that is why I added the shade cloth over this area, because I knew that, yeah, it is extremely hot out here. Anyway, over in this back corner, I have a tomato in a grow bag. Yes, in a grow bag, and it's manageable because I have the mulch. I still don't have to water this very often. I mean, every other day now, or up to every 3 days. Anyway, back in the back, I have some volunteer tomatoes. This tomato volunteered in that container, which was intended for blueberry. So it has like peat moss and coconut coir in there, which are really good at retaining moisture. So I have to water that even less often. So in the future, I think I will include that in my whatever I do for my tomatoes, because I did put a little bit of the leftover blueberry soil that I have prepared in there. So that has at least a little bit of peat moss, but not nearly as much as that one, since that was intended for a blueberry that didn't make it. That other tomato, that stake here, was from the volunteer up in that front 3x3 bed. I also have some citronella, which is supposed to deter mosquitoes. I'm not sure if it's working or not, but I do smell it. Yes, I do have a pot of water here. I do leave water out for the opossums because they do come into my yard I don't leave food anymore. They can eat them bugs if they want some. Anyway, in the corner I have 5 or 6 pepper plants. I wasn't sure if they were going to make it, so I overplanted, and they all made it. So it's a lot of them, but peppers are said to not be bothered by being, close together like that, and they're doing better than any of the other peppers I have actually. But they are also in this corner, and it's a little more shaded back here for them. All right, so this section I'm keeping my blueberries for now. These are my original blueberries from 2020, and they're still tall. But this one I didn't think it was gonna make it, because for a minute it was only those crusty leaves, and I was preparing to figure out how I was gonna get this out, because it was filled with fire ants. And then the green leaves started coming back, and I thought it was a weed at first, because I thought it was a weed somehow on the plant growing, but no, I'm pretty sure it's a blueberry. And anyway, they're different varieties, but I'm pretty sure that's a blueberry. It actually survived all of my neglect and having all those fire ants in there, because I didn't get to fertilize it. I didn't fertilize either one of these because the ants were in both of them, but they were really badly in this one, and I'm not about to get bit up by fire ants. Absolutely not. Anyway, I also have these blueberries, and this one I had a little closer over here, so it was a little. So here's where the shade cloth is. So it was kind of exposed in the sun a little longer, and you can see the difference that made with this one being against the fence like that, because they look similar when I put them over here. Maybe a month ago, they look similar when I put them over here, but I put that one back there on that little bucket, and this one I had left somewhere in here closer, so it was getting more, direct sunlight with no shade cloth, and it is looking terrible. I don't know, unless something ate it up. Because I'm like, how did this happen? I don't know, but I think it just got roasted in the sun. But anyway, here isn't the other tomato plant I was mentioning, and these I planted from seed, so not volunteer tomatoes. And it does have fruit, it does have a lot of flowers, but I do think the heat is, starting to get to it, because those flowers look like they're gonna fall. But those flowers look fine, but and they're still, it's more of a cherry tomato plant. So the cherry tomatoes plants are supposed to be better in the heat, but we shall see. Now in this corner I do have another tomato plant. I planted that one from seed as well. And on the end there's another tomato that I also planted from seed, and I need to stake that one. But anyway, these peppers in the front, that one, this one, and that one, are from the store. They were less than $2 each, and I got them because I felt like my peppers that I planted from seed, I thought they were stunted, but these are even more stunted. That's the only one that's really getting some height, but I'm just going to keep on trying, because mine were small for a while too. But in the past, my pepper plants usually get, a good 5-6 feet tall, so I don't like that they're so tiny. So anyway, so I have this tomato that's kind of, weaving itself into this little mesh trellis and on this little ladder that I'm using. And I use the ladder for aesthetics, but I also use it so that I can mount my shade cloth when it gets hot. Anyway, so pepper, I do know what these peppers are, but I'm not gonna go through that. It's hot, and it's after 14 minutes. I did get the watermelon from the store, that same store as well, for under $2. It is a sugar baby, and it came with 3 plants in a container. I didn't even separate them. I just put them in the ground, and they are growing, and they're going to be the only melons over here. I was considering doing some Minnesota midget melons, because Lady Cheryl has them. I think she said they take 65 days, and I did order the seeds, but I didn't get around to doing it. And I don't know, maybe I'll still do it, because we're not going to get a first frost probably till sometime around Thanksgiving. So we have time, especially if it's only 65 days. But it's also hot, and I haven't been wanting to come out here and to do more than the minimum, which is watering. Another thing about these is I noticed that there were some ants on them earlier when I watered. It was a little bit lighter than you may not. I don't know if you could tell if it's that it's, well, my lights are on, so it's darker. I'm actually not seeing the ants now, but I saw some ants earlier. I also saw some tiny watermelons, a few of them. I don't see another one, but there are some other ones. So I do have some very tiny, some millions coming eventually. Very tiny now, but as long as they get pollinated, I shall have some sugar babies. And I am so tired of wasting my money on nasty watermelons, and that's why I went ahead and got this, because I was like, man, it's too late. I kept procrastinating. Anyway, I kept not getting around to doing what I wanted to do and planting the watermelon. But I want some watermelon, so I went ahead and just bought the plants, and fortunately got 3 plants for only $2, less than $2. But yeah, I did discover a good source for watermelons. Amazon has them. They have some good sweet watermelons most of the time, and not the organic ones. Don't splurge on the organic. It ain't that sweet. The regular ones, I don't know what they put in there. I was actually like, is this a mutant watermelon? But they're super tiny. I'll show y'all one, because I keep them in the house. I keep them in stock. Anyway, this is the that plant, and you can tell that it's just bent, and it fell at some point recently. So I'll just stake it on this letter that I'm using as a trellis, and I'll do that before I go in the house. And then again, like this bed I said is empty for now. This bed, I don't think I went through this one yet, but so I have some chives that I bought, I think 2 years ago, from this guy who sells plants in his backyard. A friend invited me. I thought it was like a larger place. It's just a guy who grows and sells plants. And anyway, I got those for pretty cheap, and they've survived for 2 years now, through 2 winters. This is one of my from seed pepper plants. This is a banana pepper. I think it's banana pepper. I've forgotten. Let's see. Oh no, these are habaneros. So, like habanero flavor, but not the heat. So I'll put that in my pocket. Anyway, I'm not sure what this one is. I don't think I've seen any fruit on it yet. But anyway, this is too detailed. We're at 18 minutes. Here's another one, and then more chives. And that is it for now, y'all. I do also have my greenhouse, and I'll insert a picture of that, and from the outside and inside. Finally get my greenhouse, lean greenhouse attached. It's too hot to do anything in there, but I do plan to grow in there. All right, so here's a quick view from the indoors of the greenhouse that I still need to work on. I got my shelving stuff out here already. And I left the lights out there because I wasn't sure if it was going to be enough light over here. And I do have it covered with actually frost cloth, because it was getting almost 130 in here, and the frost cloth decreased that temp by 15 to 20 degrees. It's still very hot. But I also have this fan, the solar powered fan, that kind of sucks some of the heat out. All right, I'm pouring sweat, and I'm gonna go get hydrated. Make sure y'all stay hydrated out here in this heat, especially if you're outdoors. Limit your time outdoors. Anyway, thanks for watching.